Hello everyone, I'm Tanya Davis, Provincial Law Librarian of the Law Society of New Brunswick Library. Welcome to the webinar presented by the Law Society of New Brunswick Library and the New Brunswick Public Library System. The Public Library System has partnered with the Law Society Library to promote access to justice by providing webinars and training sessions to help public patrons of the libraries better understand available legal services and resources. The objectives in today's webinar are to examine the differences between legal information and legal advice, as well as provide information from websites that offer helpful information for public patrons requiring guidelines for unexpected life events that might have occurred. I will share with you how to get our patrons pointed in a good direction with their information request, while helping them at the same time understand that librarians are not able to provide advice and direction on specific problems. So let's look at what a librarian can do. We can direct patrons to legal information online and in print. And this information found online is on various websites, such as the Law Society of New Brunswick, the Law Society Library, the Public Legal Education Information System, PLEAS, and the Government of New Brunswick, Courts of New Brunswick, and CANLI, the Canadian Legal Information Institute. As librarians, we can show people how to find and search for statutes, case law articles, and forms. We can point people to legal dictionaries, and we have legal dictionaries, words and phrases. We have citation manuals, all available for the patrons to view at the Law Society of New Brunswick Library. We can direct patrons to the list of forms available on the New Brunswick government website. And we can, and they are available electronically, so we can show them where they can find them. Let's talk about legal advice. Lawyers give legal advice, and the librarian's goal is to point the patrons in the right direction to get the information, but we're not legally trained. And as a result, we cannot provide legal information. We can't advise people, tell them what they ought to do or how they should proceed legally, even if you think you know the answer. We can't recommend specific lawyers or law firms, and we can't guide people to what cases they should use. We can direct them to CANLI, which is our Canadian Legal Information Institute online legal database, but we can't point them to specific cases that they should use for their situation. We're not able to instruct people what to write, and we can't check over what they've written. And we also cannot tell people what specific forms they should use. There are communicating boundaries which we should be aware of. For example, the following questions fall into the category of giving legal advice. Where do you think, or what do you think I should fill in here? What would you do if you were in my situation? I need a lawyer. Who is a good choice? Do you think this is a good idea? Does this make sense? Or I need someone to tell me what to do. Here are a few responses to legal questions. It sounds like you're looking for more information on this topic. You may wish to seek legal advice or talk to a lawyer regarding your circumstances. I can help you find the information. I can't tell you what to do with that information. And I'm not legally trained, so I can't help you. But if you need help finding information on this topic, I can help you with that. There are tips to help you manage the patron's expectations. Ask the patron what research they have looked for so far. And this is found through a report of the Saskatchewan Access to Legal Information Project. If they want to know the definition of a legal term, we can't define the term off the top of our heads. We can point them to a resource. The statutes that are located on the New Brunswick government website often have definitions right at the beginning of the Act that define the words and phrases used in the statute, and that's very helpful. And we do have print legal dictionaries or legal glossaries here that are available. Here's a guide to the Law Society of New Brunswick Law Library resources, legislation search tools, and as librarians we can show the public patrons visiting the libraries the various links for provincial laws, federal laws, acts and regs of New Brunswick, as well as the new information portals, for example the Cannabis in New Brunswick link, which can be found on the Government of New Brunswick website. These are very helpful online resources that you can show your patrons and make them aware of what is here. A comprehensive website is the Law Society of New Brunswick's. If you select for the public at the top of the home page, there is a link titled Frequently Asked Questions. And it's a list of common questions and scenarios to provide information to help the public. Each link opens to provide answers to the questions. And you can see if we just select the drop-down arrow, you'll see different answers to the questions that are on the screen. I can't afford a lawyer, what can I do? And they do give them some information and hyperlinks to lists that will give them some more information. How do you detect legal problems is sometimes a challenge. Here are a few examples of how you can determine a legal problem. Knowing what the patron's legal problem is helps to send them in the right direction for information. For example, do they bring legal documents or legal forms in with them? Do they describe a life event? And the Public Legal Education and Information Service of New Brunswick website that is found on the URL on the PowerPoint is very helpful with a lot of answers to these questions. Let's talk about PLEAS, which is the Public Legal Education and Information Service of New Brunswick. It's a nonprofit organization and a registered charity, and their goal is to assist the public in identifying and understanding the patron's legal rights and responsibilities and obtaining self-help skills where appropriate to improve how they might deal with legal issues. And information about the law is important because it helps the public patrons to understand how the legal system works. It increases their awareness as to how it might affect everyday activities. They can learn about specific areas of law pertaining to their rights and responsibilities, and it provides a lot of information. This information that I've just mentioned is found on the PLEAS website. And it contains hyperlinks to law by topics or subject matter for patrons to explore. And as you can see, it's a comprehensive list of live links that takes you to any of those topics identified on the list. There are publications which can be ordered, as I'm sure you're aware, to display on site in your libraries. And the main website features access to nearly 200 plain language publications on a wide range of legal topics, and it is mobile friendly. Expert videos are also available for a variety of life events. How do I know if I should take my case to court? What are the alternatives? How can I reduce the impact of separation on the children? There's several videos available for you to take a look at and for the public patrons to see. It offers general information and resources about family law in New Brunswick, and it provides answers to questions that will be coming up in the course of our reference interviews with a public patron. For example, life events that could result in a legal problem in this area: living with a partner, getting married, separating from a partner or a spouse, having and raising children, and experiencing domestic violence. And the queries that might arise from these life event situations are: I need a separation, I want a divorce, I need a custody or child support, spousal support order, my partner is not paying the child support we agreed on, a paper saying that a family case has been started was served on me. And you can see on the slide that there are live links to support enforcement when couples separate, rights and responsibilities, legal aid in New Brunswick, child support, and spousal support, as well others. Housing law and legal problems are also identified through the Please website: residential tenancies, immediate notice to vacate so owner can occupy, my landlord keeps coming into my place to check on things, can a landlord do that? Or my landlord has increased my rent and I cannot afford the new amount. There is information regarding consumer and non-profit law as well, with live links directed to the guides. And planning ahead, wills and personal affairs are links conveniently identified for patrons to access, and provides them with information to assist with their questions: making a will, checklist for making a will, choosing an executor or probating of a will. The website itself, from the main website that you can see at the top of the screen, there are other portals for resources depending on what type of subject or topic area that your patron might be looking for. The Law Society of New Brunswick Library also, of course, has reference materials in print, and this material is helpful when a patron is asking what specific legal terms mean. So take a look at these links and bookmark them for easy access. Many are available in the Law Society Library, and we welcome patrons to come and grab a collection and take a peek at the books that might be available. This past June, we launched a new template for the Law Society of New Brunswick Library homepage. It's easy to navigate, and it can be found on the same URL as was the previous template. We have added other resources in addition to what was there last year, additional links for the public to conduct their research. The Canadian Legal Information Institute, the CANLI link, is on the homepage of the library website. And just as a recap, CANLI was founded and is paid for by lawyers and notaries who are members of Canada's provincial and territorial law societies. They comprise the Federation of the Law Societies of Canada. So today I would like to point out additional features of CANLI for your information. A new link has been put on the page with additional commentary, and it is CANLI Docs, which has additional information from last year. This link contains books and articles and journals for everyone that would like to have some additional material. Here's a list of journals, for example, that are available on the website, and they can be reviewed for legal information on specific subject matters. There are articles provided on the CanLII website for information purposes as well. The titles are hyperlinked to the complete article. And for example, halfway down you'll see ethical and legal issues and e-discovery of Facebook evidence in civil litigation. And that opens directly to the full article available for anyone to read. Additional legal resources via the internet are through the New Brunswick Court of Appeal, the Annotated Rules of Court of New Brunswick, Supreme Court of Canada, Federal Child Support Tables, as well as the Canadian Supreme Court Report decisions that are current to today. I just wanted to recap, just to say that our role is not to provide legal advice or give instructions how any court forms must be completed, even when we're directing them to these sites. Our job is to retrieve the information, and I know when I get asked how-to questions, I let the public patrons know that their question is a legal question. And so today our objectives were to identify the difference between legal information and legal advice, and to provide a little bit of information as to where you might find some of these resources. Here's a list of the references that were made available so that you can check these out as well for additional material. Please do not hesitate to reach out to the library staff with any questions that you may have. Thanks so much, and we look forward to working with you.